Alright, today I'll be making an omelet for my final project. It's gonna have two proteins, eggs and bacon, and two vegetables, red bell peppers, and a red onion. Okay, so to start, I'm gonna start with some bacon. This is the red cutting board, which means it's only for cutting meats. I'll be rough chopping somewhat of the bacon. I'm gonna use two to three slices because I messed up the first part of the video, so I'm doing this again. Technique for the knife, I'm grabbing it in claw, making sure my knuckles are staying back, fingers are staying back. Make sure I keep my knuckles in front. Keep this here. So getting that, this, something like that. I'm going to be using that little bit to show what I did earlier. I keep this back. After done chopping the bacon, I'll be cleaning the knife. Get no cross-contamination between the vegetables and the proteins. Okay. I used quarter of a red bell pepper, but I'll be using another bit more as to show what I did earlier. I'm not going to use any of the seeds. All the seeds are staying in the red bell pepper. Gonna be taking this out. Alright. Gonna be taking this out. Making it as flat as I can, as if to get a better grip on it. And then from there, I'm not gonna take out the inside of the membrane. I'm also gonna take out all the seeds. Put all of the remains in a little container I've got up here. As if to keep all my compost. Alright, keep the red bell pepper on the cutting board, fingers stay back, knuckles stay forward, and then cut them into juliennes. And from here, I got juliennes on this size, this width. Grab them. I'm gonna make them into small dice or cubes. I don't quite remember the very right name for that. Knuckles stay back. I'm gonna make them into cubes because these are too big as to make them small dice. So from here, just finish cutting this. Once I got it, this is what I should have. Got this. I'm gonna place it inside of its own container, which is gonna be the mise en place, which I'm gonna be showing off later when everything's done cutting and everything's ready to start searing and almost ready. Alright. When done with the red bell pepper, I'm gonna put that aside in its own container. I'm gonna grab the red onion, which I'm gonna be using. That's the third ingredient that's gonna be inside of the omelet. I'm gonna be using about a third, a little bit over a quarter of the onion. Mostly because I like onions, so I'll be putting a little bit more. About this much. If not, I'll probably add a little more to cut the get this out. Here, got that. Flat on the table. Alright, got the onions cut. So I'm gonna try to line them up just to get them as small as I can. Don't want to be getting big, huge bites of onion in just one bite. So try and line them up as best as I can. And then from there, try and get it like that. I'm gonna try and dice them as small as I can. Try and get about this big of a cut. I'm chopping. It's about as big as I'm aiming for at the moment. Oh yeah, so knuckles are staying back, fingers are staying back. The way I'm grabbing the knife is finger on the side, grabbing it like this, and then just going up and down. Or not up and down, going through. I just have to cut a little faster or swifter. This knife's well sharpened, it was sharpened before. So it's got a good blade. Here's gonna be a little inconsistent because they're not gonna be all the same cut size. Which I'm not really going for the same cut size, really. Just not big, just about the same size. Alright, got that much onion. It's all gonna go in its own little container. Alright, that seems like that's it for the chopping. Don't need these guys anymore. Can all go in the dishwasher. And this would end up being the mise en place, baking. All that's for the cutting and the vegetables and the protein. I would still need one more. So the eggs will also have a little container. I will be using cage-free brown eggs. I don't know if that's the difference. I will only be using about 2. We'll only be making 1 omelet. Okay. Last. Alright, that's that. It is 2 eggs, gotta beat them light. Cállate. So these are the ingredients in the Mise en Place: bacon, red onions, red bell peppers, and 2 slightly beaten eggs, plus some butter for the pan. The rest are just gonna be salt and some salt and some pepper. You can either use black pepper or white pepper, which I can't find right now. And that's to taste. So keep that there. Then I'm gonna get the pan going, get that hot, and then I'm gonna start with the proteins. Alright, now that I got this pan going, it's hot, this pan's hot. I'm gonna start with the bacon. I'm gonna toss it on the pan. Start cooking that. Let it get hot. Let that go until it's to preference. I like them a little bit not too crispy. So let that go on. Let them just sit on the heat. Well, that's going. We got this one going. So on this one, I'm gonna let that one heat up while I wait for the fat of the bacon to render. Then I'll throw the vegetables in the fat of the bacon. Or no, I'm tossing it all in together. Sorry, so that it can all cook together. Alright, now that it's been sitting there for a little bit, I'm going to bring down the heat a little more. I'm going to grab the onions. I'm going to toss them in. I'm going to wait a little more before tossing in the other vegetables. Let these guys go on for a couple seconds. Since the heat is high, it'll cook a little fast. I'm going to put in the red bell peppers in a little bit after. As if to get the, don't like let them lose much of its color. Let them keep color or something. Alright, now that they've been going for a little bit, I'm going to toss in the red bell peppers. So let's go for a little bit. And while that's cooking up a little bit more, I'm going to grab the eggs and I'm going to start making the omelet. Alright, so the pan's nice and hot. I will grab the butter. It's unsalted butter, but you can use salted butter, is also fine. It's really not going to kill it. Grab the butter and just, since it's not melted, I'm just going to rub it a little bit around the edges of the pan. Make sure it's nice and good, I guess. Alright, doing that. I grab the eggs. Pour them in slowly at the middle. and get them spread out. And wait for that to go a little bit. Not forgetting this is going too, so that there. Making sure this is also keeping an eye on this. Once I see it's starting to get a little bit less liquidy, well, it can move on its own. So I'm gonna try and flip it on its side, onto its other side. I'm gonna grab a small spatula. Well, it's like that. I'm gonna do a technique I saw somewhere. Gonna grab a plate, and then with this, place the plate over the egg, and then like this. And then the egg omelet is fucked. Alright, well, now it's less of an omelet, more of a already moved omelet. Try and fix that. Give me a sec. Alright, so after making the tortilla, you got the vegetables and the meats. Season that, because it's not been seasoned yet. Season it to taste. I'm just going to add a little bit, not too much. But a pinch or two. Have that there. And then toss that with the egg omelet. And then with that, grab this. Close it shut. Grab a plate. And it's for a less crowded area. Place that on the plate. And that's my final project. Egg omelet with bacon, red onions, and red bell peppers. You can finish it with adding some salt on top or some pepper, because due to the fact that the eggs weren't seasoned before. So some salt, some pepper, I guess. And yep, that's my final project.